What's good, YouTube? What's going on? It's your boy MarsothaDon back again with. I think this is going to be my first video for real. The little test joint that I had, that's not my first video. I was just to test to see if I uploads work, but I'm back at y'all again. Let me just say a couple things before I get into this little story time. Scat vlogs coming soon. Public interview coming soon. I gotta figure out how to edit that for real, cause the person who filmed it, the quality was kind of. I'm probably gonna release another video after this one, so yeah. But let's go ahead into it. How simping almost killed me. Let's get into it. So first, I'm going to introduce the characters in this story. So it's me, this one friend that I knew, which we're not friends anymore, and it's my fault. I'm gonna take the fault for that, and then his girl. Now the one thing that is just bro code, like anywhere, is you never go for your man's girl, especially when they break up. And I must have been really down bad then, because me right now would never do that. So what happened was they broke up 2 months after. I'm like, hey yo, I texted him, I'm like, hey yo, is it okay if you feel me, shoot my shot at, we're gonna call this girl V. I was like, okay, if I shoot my shot at V, texted him so I can get the go-ahead. He gave me the go-ahead, but one, warned me that she was crazy, and two, he was iffy about it. So he didn't want me to do it, but he said go ahead. Now automatically right there, I shouldn't have done it at all. I should have just let it rock. I should have just been like, okay, bet. But no, I'm hard-headed, so I was like, all right, bet. I'm gonna talk to this girl and see what happens. So it's like it had to have been like June of last year. We just got out of school and stuff, so I was probably at my dad's house just kicking it, and I text her and I'm like, hey yo, what's up? Yada yada. We keep on talking a little more. Then I get on the FaceTime. Now, the first thing I do is get you on a FaceTime at 3 a.m. You already should have known what type of time I was on. But we get there, we get to talking about stuff, and we're really like-minded on a lot of things. But I think the term that is now used is called like trauma dumping or something. She started doing that, which was that's red flag number one. That's red flag number one. So she somehow turned the conversation from talking about our interest to talking about like trauma and the stuff she's been through. Because I think the question that I asked her was, how are you single when you look this good, yada yada. Peak simping, by the way. Peak simping, by the way. And she was like, I just can't trust dudes and yada yada. And I'm thinking, well, she can't trust dudes because someone did her wrong. Nah, fam. She goes into like, yo, somebody did this to me, this, that. And I have respect for people's secrets, so I'm not gonna say what happened, but just know it was some other shit. And she started to like put that on me, and she was like, that's why I didn't want to that's why I was iffy about this FaceTime thing and yada yada. And I was like, I literally told her like this. I was like, you didn't have to get on. You made the decision by yourself. And she was like, yeah, I didn't want to be mean to you and yada yada. And I was like, okay. I could feel the conversation going in like this downward spiral. So I lifted it back up. Everything was cool. We played like 21 questions, truth or dare, yada yada, all that. First day was good. Now second day, was when things got rocky. I didn't even text her or call her on the second day. I think she texted me and she was like, "Hey, I want to get back and call for you, yada yada. Let's talk some more." And I was like, "Okay, bet. Let's go into it." And the conversation went dark really, really fast. Like I remember just asking her about her day, and I think at the time she was in Myrtle Beach or something, so she was just there cooling it with family or whatever. And I was like, "How was your day?" Yada yada. And she was like, "It's cool, except for." And as soon as I heard the "except for," I was like, "Okay, here we go." So she tells me one of the people at the beach like did something to her, and I'm not gonna say what, but you know what I'm saying when I say did something to her. I'm like, whoa, what the? And the first thing I say is, you ain't tell nobody, you ain't. And she was like, I didn't know who to tell. I don't want my, I don't want my yada yada to worry. I want us to have a fun time on the trip. And I'm like, if you're having this happen to you in a public place, the least you should do is tell somebody. She was like, nah, not even gonna worry about it. And that was cool. And then after that, I switched the topic and I start overly complimenting her. I'm like, man, frick that dude. It's whatever. You look too good to be out there. Yada yada. Just, just, just compliment after compliment after compliment. Just whoom, 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 whoom. And you know what's weird about that? She never complimented me. Never did all of that. Never did all of that. Never, ever. And you're gonna see throughout this story that I do that a lot. Like I'm so proud of the growth that I've had over this past year, bro. Cause if I was still simping and throwing out compliments left and right, bro, ugh, I'd probably be a nasty ass nigga, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. So after that, the third day. Now the third day, that's where like, so like the climax of this story happens. So she texted my man's before about me, and she was like, "Oh yeah, me and him just got off the phone, yada yada." Now, this would come back to bite me in the ass later, but besides that, the third day, V was like, she was like, "Yeah, I have a habit of cutting people off. Like, I don't know if after the fourth day we're gonna talk anymore." And I was like, "Huh?" That caught me off guard. I was like, "Huh?" And she was like, "Yeah, I just have a habit of cutting people off, and yada yada." Now, this is what I applied myself for. I was like, "All right, bet," because at this point, I think this was a part of my life where I started to realize, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I just started to not care as much in terms of like relationships, I guess. Well, I was still simping, but there was just some points where I just didn't care. So I think when she realized I didn't care, that's when she was like, "Oh my gosh, what?" So I was like, "All right, bet, go ahead." And she was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, if you feel like we're not gonna talk after the fourth day, there's nothing I can really do about it. There's nothing I can really do to change your mind. I'm not like a mind controller. I can't do any of that. So if you want to leave, just go ahead. And then she started crying. That's when I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. We've only been talking for 3 days. You only know me because you dated my mans. And I literally just said what any other guy would say, which is, I can't control what you do. If you do that, go ahead. And now she's crying. And she's like, I don't want to make you feel bad. And like, it's too much for me. And like, I don't understand why you're just so nonchalant about it. Like, and I was like, whoa, whoa. So I try my best to calm her down. She's like, are you really gonna be that nonchalant about leaving me? And I'm like, leaving me? You're the one that said by the fourth day we might not be friends, we might not talk. How am I leaving you? You're leaving me. I was like, what? This girl is psycho. She is crazy. So after that, I calm her down. We get to talking about other things, and then I was, I said something like, man, I said something like, your conversation points are really good. I'm glad we're able to have these deep conversations. We were having a deep conversation about like life trajectory and stuff like that. And then I hear her crying again. I'm like, young, bro, why? Why? Like, what's the what's the point of you doing this? And she's like, I'm just so sad that we're not gonna be able to have these deep conversations anymore. And I'm like, I started to peep. I'm like, is she trying to make me like, what's the word? Is she trying to make me chase her? And when I peeped that's when I was like, okay, this girl is psycho. Because the first time I was like, okay, she's probably just crying because she's probably just crying. But the second time I was like, is she trying to play mental mind games? So after that, that's when I was done. That's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna just tell you this. There's nothing I can do to change your mind about anything. At the end of the day, I'm gonna have to quote unquote move on at some point. And I lied to her. I lied to her. I was like, I have other girls I'm talking to right now, so it's not that deep. I did not. I knew damn well I didn't. I was just lying. But that's what I said. And then I was like, there's nothing I can do to change you. There's nothing I can do to make you change your decision. One thing I can do is take that decision and just leave. There's nothing else I can really do. Like, and she was like, the least you could have done was be a little bit more sincere. And I was like, be a little more sincere? What do you want me to do? 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 So I leave it alone. Fourth day comes, and I remember my man's Isaiah, he said, don't text her, don't call her, don't do none of that. I ain't do any of that. I think me and my dad were like, went out for a run, and we went for some smoothies and stuff like that. So I was busy the whole entire day. So I really did not have a reason to text her. So I'm in the room, I'm about to fall asleep, and my phone goes doo 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 doo, and it's her calling me, and I'm like, I look at my phone, and I'm like, should I answer this? So I answer it, and she's like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing good. I'm out here. Just went on a run. I got with my dad, yada, yada. And yeah, she mentioned something on that day, which made me think that she was crazy. She started blaming me. She started blaming me for the reason why she said, "Oh, we're not gonna be friends after the fourth day." If I remember correctly, go back in the story time, so you can see when I said this. If I remember correctly, you said yourself, "I have a habit of cutting people off, and we're probably not gonna be friends anymore by the fourth day." That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me at all. So when she started blaming it on me, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What I said to y'all, I said to her, and she was like, no, I didn't, and like, you're just pushing me away. And I'm like, how am I pushing you away? She's like, you didn't return any of my calls and my texts. I was like, I'm busy. I have a life. Like, so we get to arguing and arguing and arguing. And at this point, it's like 2 a.m. I realize what I'm saying is not getting through to her. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. I said, see you tomorrow. And then as soon as I said, see you tomorrow, she started busting out crying. I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. So I hung up on her. And, bro, you know what she did? She did the most, cheekiest, most cheekiest, most, not necessarily saying female, but the thing a girl would do in an argument. She posts on her story and she says, I hate assholes who hang up on me when I get emotional. Literally 2 minutes after our argument. I was like, all right. So now our friends are coming at me and they're saying, oh, you're an asshole. Oh, you're yada yada. And at this point, I don't care. So, and we haven't talked since after that. She still follows me on Instagram, which is weird. Yeah, that's really it. That's the reason why simping is bad and crossing your mans is horrible. Because I'll do probably a part 2 on this, but bro, the fact that I did this behind my man's back is crazy. I'll see y'all in the next video. It's been your boy MarsothaDon. I'm out. Peace.